I've made quite a lot of money from detailing and growing some social media accounts. I don't really need to work too much anymore. I actually use my money to basically free up my time. And that's what's most important to me, getting freedom to do what I want when I want. And that's why I'm doing this video, because I enjoy doing stuff like this. I run a TikTok account called Adam Details. You may have seen it. I've grown it to about 17,000 followers in the span of like uploading 40 TikToks, which is nothing. I've grown my detailing business, consistent months of 10,000 in revenue easily. And I don't work throughout the whole month. I take weekends off. I take the odd week and a day off. And yeah, I basically just do paint correction work, and that's about it. I don't do full valets. I don't do maintenance work. I don't do interiors. I'll do a deep clean, single step paint enhancements, but that is about it. I work fully out of a van. I don't want a unit. I don't want that commitment, and I just try and keep my life as simple as possible. And that's what I want this video just to basically be about, because I'm not exceptional in any way, shape or form. I'm just a normal fucking bloke from the UK just doing all right for himself. I started an insurance sales job about 2-3 years ago, and when ChatGPT was first getting rolled out in 2022, our CEO got a bit hell-bent on the idea of having everything automated, which I don't necessarily disagree with, because I use a lot of automation within my business, but he was so insistent on it. Yeah, he made our entire office of about 400-500 people redundant in the space of a few months, and I was obviously left with an ultimatum in terms of what I do at that point. You work in a job like that, which, there's like commission, so there is some incentive to work, but at the same time, you could put your blood, sweat and tears into something, and then there's some fucking idiot sat next to you 2 chairs down who does virtually nothing, and they get paid pretty much the same as you do. And that's when I realised I cannot be in this rat race, this 9 to 5 anymore, and I need to start saving for myself. And with how the world has changed in the last 2-3 years, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, it has. The introduction of AI has changed absolutely everything. If you don't think it's going to get exponentially worse or better, depending on what position you're in, if you don't think it's going to change at all within the next 2 to 3 years from here onwards, then you're just massively mistaken and you've got your head in the sand. And that's the reality. White collar work is going to disappear as we know it. If you're a call center agent, if you work in sales, if you do anything that involves writing, admin, anything like that at all, your job won't exist in 5 years, which is unfortunate, but you have the chance to change it. And blue collar work is not going anywhere. And I realized this 2-3 years ago. I mean, the time it's going to take for robots to come around and start automating what I do in terms of valeting cars, doing paint work, whatever it may be, that's going to take a significantly longer time than it is going to be installing some AI bot on your computer and run your entire back end for you. So yeah, that's why I took the leap and decided to go down this route. And I've now grown it to a point, as I said earlier, where I don't really need to do too much, and you can do exactly the same. The beauty about this business is the barrier to entry is extremely low. You could literally go to Halfords, B&Q and grab all the equipment you need to get started. And it's not about, loading up on the highest end chemicals or anything like that to start with. It's probably a good idea that you ignore that typical advice you see on YouTube, going for all the premium stuff to start with. It doesn't matter. If you're trying to move on from that mundane life of going to work between a set period every day, then you'll do anything just to start, get the ball rolling and get clients. So yeah, go to Halfords. You can grab 2 buckets. You can grab a bulk pack of microfiber towels, obviously some all-purpose cleaner, some snow foam, brushes. Yeah, I mean, it's all there, and you could probably spend £200-300, which in the grand scheme of things to start a service business is extremely low. You could save £200-300 in a month. I'm sure most of you could. But then once you're at that point, it's just about getting your first job, and all you really need to do at that stage is just start by doing friends and family. Once you have friends and family and you're doing work for them, ask them to leave a Google review on a business page that you can create. We can go into more detail about this in a separate video, but if you just create a Google business profile, name the business whatever you want it to be to start with, and just get them to put a review on that page, and that will just boost you up in the Google browser. And then that way, once you have more reviews, more people will start to come across your business. And you can see where I'm going with this. This will compound over time. And yeah, like literally within 3 to 4, 5 months, maybe, depending on how proactive or fucking lazy you're being, you can have a full week, 2 weeks booked out in advance, and you'll be earning minimum £150 to £200 a day. And it really can be that simple, and it is totally realistic. We've actually started a community which is currently free at the moment, but it's actually only a wait list. But yeah, getting started can be that simple. And then once you've got those people on board, you try and turn them into maintenance clients, and then you just keep going back to them every few weeks or months even. Once you're at a point when you've got some Google reviews, some before and after photos showing proof that you can deliver results, then all you need to then do is run about £5 to £10 on Meta ads each day. And with that, if you set that up correctly, your revenue will blow up. In terms of my return on ad spend, I think it's like on average for every £10 I spend, I book about 3 to 4 clients. And when I say that, 3 to 4 clients, these are like minimum £220 jobs. So you can do the maths, and you only really need to run that. And more often than not, I actually find myself turning the ads off. I'll put them on for a day or two, and then I'll turn them off because my calendar's just booked up immediately. As long as you've got a good ad, you're running the right copy and everything like that at all, it can be so simple. And I don't understand why more people aren't doing this, because it's maybe just a knowledge thing, maybe just like an awareness thing. And I understand people get a little bit comfortable in their jobs, living the same life, paycheck to paycheck. It's a bit more secure, but at the same time, how are you supposed to achieve anything great? You've got that dangling carrot while you're on a treadmill, trying to chase something bigger, whether it's like a promotion or whatever it may be. But if you own your own business, and it can be anything, I'm just talking about detailing here because that's what I do, but if it can be anything from sort of landscaping to plumbing to whatever you want it to be, you're the master of your own destiny at that point. And what you put in is what you get out. And I'm not saying you need to work yourself to the bone. I'm not saying you need to do 80 hours a week. You work all day, you get home, do all the admin. With the introduction of AI, as we spoke earlier in the video, I got fucked off from my job because of it. But I actually use it in the business to help out what I do now. So a lot of my admin and books and everything is all automated for me. All my leads are responded to automatically. And this is all stuff we go over in the mentorship. But yeah, if you wanted to join that community, you're more than welcome to do so. If you don't, entirely up to you. It's not going to make a difference to me. But yeah, I think the point of this video is that once you've got customers through the door, once you've managed to scale it, where you've got some maintenance clients and then you're spending some money on Google ads, it all just compounds, and you will get to a point where you'll either have to open a unit and only charge for hire jobs, which is basically the point I'm gotten to. I don't really like the idea of getting a unit personally. I like being able to go out and about, go on a drive, meet new people in new locations that I don't really go to too often, and just spend their day like sorting their paintwork out or whatever it may be. But yeah, with like me being able to take a step back, which I've been very fortunate to do, it gets me time to help out others, which we've been doing in the background anyway, with some of our one-to-one work. And you can see the picture, once you're scaling, you can then start to invest in better products. You can then start to invest in a machine polisher, dual action, a rotary, whatever it may be. You can then get that unit if that's something you really wanted to go out and do. But I think this video is just to open your eyes a little bit and establish what's possible. I even use it for social media. I don't care about my TikTok account whatsoever. And I don't use it to get business or anything like that at all. If you go and watch it, which is again Adam Details, it's just complete sarcasm, basically made up. The only thing I don't really make up is the price. But in terms of what happened on that job and just telling the story, majority of the time this is just completely fabricated. It's for engagement, but I just do it for fun. I've sold a few products on there, so on TikTok you can link a product on a video, and every time that product sells or someone buys through your link, you then get a cut of the commission. I think I've made about £600-700 over the span of like 2-3 months just from doing that alone. So even if it is a case where you're using detailing as your sort of primary work and your engine to pay your bills or your business costs or whatever it may be, you can just make additional side income just from TikTok or social media alone. So yeah, I think it's all about, again, opening people's eyes to the possibility of what's out there, because life is what you make it at the end of the day. And I've made something out of myself, and I'd like to think if you've come across this video and you've watched this far, you can do so too. I'd appreciate if you wanted to leave a comment, anything you want to say, anything you want to ask, I'm all ears. But yeah, that was all. Just don't let anyone tell you can't, because again, I was in your position once where I was basically bound to a desk, and the idea of starting my own business and just taking that leap was so daunting. But once I was put in a position where I had no other choice, I made the action, and it was the best thing I've ever done for the last 3 years of my life. It's completely changed everything. So yeah, go out there and do it, whatever it is you want. Appreciate it.